Okay, so what we're going to be looking at is the swimming. It's pretty straightforward, but I just thought I'd just quickly show you. When you go into the water, you'll see you get this breath bar. So as we stay here, our breath is going to be reduced, and you can see it's starting to go down. So if you don't get out of the water before your breath runs out, obviously your character will die. So then you can also maneuver around in the water. Now it's kind of a bit tricky, and it's not hard, but it does sort of. What happened to me was I was wondering how I go back up. So what I generally do is use my right button to look around, my right mouse button, and then hold my left mouse button to move forward at the same time. So I've got my right mouse button down now. I then put my left mouse button down. I start to move forward, and then I just move my mouse sort of up and down on my mouse pad. So pulling it back towards me or pushing it away from me. So pushing it away from me will take me to the surface. So it can sort of seem a bit weird when you first do it, but once you're in there, it's pretty easy. Okay, so what I want us to look at here is to really start to pay attention now to the actions that you have. All the actions are different, and a key to playing really well in World of Warcraft is really understanding the action and what it does and what it's best used with and what combinations work best together. And the sooner that you do that when you're starting, the easier it's going to get going forward. You're going to get more and more of these abilities, and the sooner you understand them, the easier it's going to be, because it does get quite confusing later on. And that's when you'll start to look at different rotations, and you'll hear these types of terms. Different rotations, so working out which abilities work best together to give you the most damage. So I want you to pay attention to, I have a charge here. So what this is going to do is charge from a distance. So if I just say I want to attack this croc here, you can see my charge ability is available. You'll see these numbers here are red, which means I can't do those yet, but my charge ability is available. Then we also have here Rend, which is a melee weapon, and what it does is it causes the target to bleed. Now, what you'll find is once I apply Rend to the croc, if you notice up here, there will be a little, I think they call them buffs, or I don't even know the right term. I still don't know all the terms for this game, but you'll see a little a Rend icon up here showing you that it's inflicting damage over time. So I just want to show you how that works. So we're going to charge in, and I'm going to apply my Rend. Up in the corner here, you'll see Rend is bleeding away for 9 seconds. Bleeding for 9 seconds, yeah. So we can just do that. Let's have a look at that again. I'll find another croc. Just want to show you that again. So I really want you to understand this. It's actually quite important part of playing the game, is understanding your abilities. So I've highlighted it. My charge is available. My warrior has this rage, so my charge is available, and my Rend is available. So it's always important to put Rend first, because it's going to inflict damage over time, and then you can start with your strike. So I'm going to charge, then Rend, which I've now applied Rend here. It's doing damage over time. Then I can strike. And, I didn't really need to do another Rend, but I just do it out of habit. Let's see, let's try that one more time. Let's try this something in the water. We'll charge that. And this is something, if you ever do tanking, so I've done a victory rush there, which actually gave me some energy. If you're ever tanking, you will generally start with a charge. So I just wanted to show you how that works. Let's maybe look at it one more time. So we charge, Rend. I'm going to do a victory rush here, which gives me an energy boost here, a health boost.
I don't have a target.
So you can see that you can use these to your advantage. So if you have Victory Rush, you might as well use it and give yourself some health back. Okay, so I just wanted to have a look at, go back to what I've talked about previously with armor. So here I'm just getting some armor from one of the rewards, and now you'll start to see I'm almost level 10. You starting to see some attributes applied to the armor. So it's not just getting armor, it's also getting attributes. So here I get +1 stamina. For this one here I get 48 armor +1 strength. So we've got -2 armor if I take this, and I'll get 1 stamina. If I choose this one, I'll get 48 armor and 1 strength. So if we go back to my character uses strength. And what does strength do? It increases your attack power by 50. I also use stamina, so that increases your health. So if you want attack power, you use strength. So this is a better option for me. So I'm going to complete that quest. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing your armor. Okay, so I just wanted to show you quickly what happens when you come across an elite. So here I've come across this guy, Koroth the HillBreaker. Now, if I hover over him, you'll see on the right hand side of my screen, it says he's a level 12. I'm still at level 9, so he's a few levels above me, so that's not a good idea to start with. And it says elite. So what does that mean? So elite means he is much stronger than what you might think. Now, if we have a look up here, this is my health, 212. We'll have a look at his health, 7,400. So he's quite a bit stronger than us, so it would take a hell of a lot for me to kill him. It'd be basically impossible for me to kill him on my own. So just be aware of that. If you see an elite character, you don't want to be taking him on generally on your own unless you're quite a few levels above that character. Okay, so just quickly wanted to show you, in the game you're going to come across a banker. They don't always look like this. They could be, if you're in a big city, it'll be a big room and it looks like a bank. You look through the bars and you talk to the little teller. So in this case, they look like this. And what a banker does is you have all these slots where you could go to your bags and say, okay, well, I don't want to carry this around. I just want to leave it in my banker. Leave it in my bank, and you go to any other bank in the game and you'll be able to get it back out. So it's great for things that you don't want to get rid of, but you want to store and come back to it at some later stage.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, so I've just got to level 10, and what happens when you get to level 10 is you unlock talent points, and this is then going to determine what sort of player you are, at least, going up to, working your way up towards level 85. So we're going to have a quick look at that. So what are the talent points? Basically, talent points are going to determine the type of player you're going to be, and this is going to be different depending on what class you are. My class is a warrior, so I can choose from 3 different types of player. So we have one called Arms, one called Fury, and one called Protection. Basically, they're just different types of gameplay. For example, Protection is to protect. This is good if you want to be a tank. Now, if you don't know what tanking is, geez, that guy's annoying. Let's move. If you want to be a tank, then you need to be protection. Now, what is tanking? Tanking is when you're in the dungeons. We haven't unlocked the dungeon finder yet, but when you're playing in random groups of 5 people, tank is the person who's going to take all the damage, draw all the attacking mobs onto you, and the healer's going to heal you, and the other players are going to do all the damage to kill the mobs that are fighting you. So we're not just going to go into all that right now. It is quite confusing when you're starting the game exactly what that is. It's better when we get there if I show you. So basically, if you want to be a tank, and I would say the first player that you are, I wouldn't be a tank. But if you're going to tank, this is the spec that you need to pick, because it is designed to give you greater damage, to allow you to take greater damage, and use a shield. This is more of a two-handed weapon type of player, so you get dual wielding specialization, and this is a two-handed. This is a dual wielding player, so you'll hold a weapon in each hand, where this here is a two-handed weapon player. So it really depends on what sort of character you want to play. If I was starting out again, I wouldn't go in as a tank until I understood what that meant. So if you were Fury or Arms, you could still play in the dungeons, but you would play a DPS role, which means you're just doing damage and not having to lead the group and be in control of drawing the attacking players onto you. So I'm going to pick the protection spec. Oops. I'm going to view the talent trees for that. And then I have one unspent talent point. I can choose one of these. So this increases the critical strike chance of heroic strike. I don't actually have heroic strike yet, so heroic strike will be one of my abilities down here. This is going to increase my armor value, so I could use that now. And this is going to increase my thunderclap. So it's going to say when you thunderclap a target, which this is my thunderclap ability, which I haven't showed you yet. Which is affected by your rend, which was this ability, which is like a bleed, then it's going to have a 50% chance to affect every target. So I'm going to actually choose that one as a starting talent. So now basically I'm going to lock that in. Okay, we're done with the talent spec. So basically now I am a protection warrior.